So it's been a while since I've talked about my garden at all, and I'm going to do my best to do a very full tour. This is one of my very big trellises, right? And it has, where are they? There's one right here, right there. I've got butternut squash here. And I planted a couple of direct sow plants of this one, and it is all the way up to the top of the trellis, which I'll show you here in a minute. But it is just doing so good, just climbing. What I've been doing is doing my best to get this wrapped around the trellis as much as I can so that it can continue to grow up and have more space. But it's just been doing amazing. My carrots are still going here. I have an issue in this bed. I don't know if y'all remember. I cut up some trees and limbs and things and put them in the bottom of this bed last year. And the limbs are buried, but they're still trying to grow new things from what I've done. So in the winter time, I'm going to dig this thing up. But I have little bits of the plant that I buried just as a stick. It was just sticks, it was a brush, it was dead brush. But it's coming up, and it's only coming up in that bed. So I have a lot of these that I just keep snapping off best I can. So that's an issue in this bed. Also in that bed, there were onions in the middle. The onions are done. I started those entirely too late this year, but if I'm being entirely honest, about 90% of the things in this garden this year are first year things for me. And a lot of things have gone well. Onions was just not one of them. It's okay. So, this is peas. They're about done. They can really only handle the heat so much, so they're going to die off. Most of them already have. But the rest of this plant here, make sure I don't have any other babies. This side here, these big leaves. These are a smaller variety pickling cucumber, which has just been awesome. The boys have been tearing these up. I've been making them in spring rolls and all kinds of things. It's been really good. On the other side of this bed, there's some yellow leaves there because it is an angry plant. I had some volunteer squash plants that had ended up in my herb bed, but I moved them this weekend. So what happened with that is that my brassicas, my lettuces, all the cool weather things decided they were done because it's gotten pretty hot out here. So brassicas were there, lettuces were up there, and because those things were really done, they were bolting, they were drying out, wormies, all of it, they were done. I'm not going to fight the worms because they're so bad. So what I've done with those, I just yanked them up. I yanked those up, and in their place I put their squash up there and their squash down here, and I've got some trellising that I'm going to do to see if I can get those to grow upward. So that is this end of the bed. My tomatoes are looking pretty darn rough because I ordered some trellises for these and they got stuck in customs, according to Amazon. I don't know what that's about. So my tomatoes are going, but I really need to come up with some. I'm going to just go ahead and buy a different trellis, I think. I'm actually going to do that as soon as I'm done here. I'm going to buy another trellis. So, can you see? Can you see that? Can you see that? That thing is, these will get enormous. This thing is that big. It's pretty big, I think. So I'm excited about that. I've never grown butternut squash before, but the thing here is that I've heard that you can use them about how you'll use pumpkins. So that's a new thing. Those were a direct sow seed. There's some tomato plants in here were direct sow. Not all of them. But carrots are new. All of these squashes are new. There you go. Now you can see my garden and it's just full beauty. It is just really nice to see the things that you've dreamt up kind of come into a reality. So I've got those big old trellises back there. I've got a big cool one in the center too. You can kind of tell there's stuff growing up this one here. There's stuff growing up that one there. I can't wait till they're fully covered, fruit coming down on them. Like, we're so close. I feel like these plants grow more and more every day. But yeah, it's so nice to really see the things that you've dreamt up kind of come into a reality. So okay, it is a different day because the other day when I started filming this, it started getting rained on. So different day, different end of the garden because I wanted to talk about this end. So here, just so you can kind of get your bearings, I was standing on the other far end in the beginning of this video, and now I'm in the front, by the front of the house. So these are sweet potatoes that I have growing up here. And I also have potatoes in the front of this bed. I'm actually going to harvest those today. So I had some variation in plants. I had red potatoes here, and then these are more of a Yukon Gold, I think. We'll see. Yeah, these are a yellow brown potato here. But these all look really good, and I could probably leave them a little while. They do have lots of cool little babies in here. But what I was seeing is that there was something that was killing some of these potatoes. This plant honestly could have gone a little while longer, but I done yanked it up now. So I wonder if I can find one. I think there's one right there. Here we go. That is a yucky potato. And it stinks. I'm not sure what happened here, but it is just nasty. I'm gonna put it back in the dirt, let it break down. But my potatoes that were over here that I've already dug up all kind of look like that. So they're all coming up before it. When I first pulled them up, it was like a whole mess of bugs came flying out of the whole thing. So everybody's getting pulled up today so that I don't run into that again. I still have some really good potatoes here. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of them. All of them. I'm gonna harvest all of my typical potatoes. I have sweet potatoes. I'm gonna see if I can't let those continue to go. And what I'm gonna do in this area is, I think what I'm gonna do is, I've got green beans on the other end of this bed on a trellis. You can kind of see the birdie right there. I've got green beans on this side, so what I think I might do, see if I can't put some more green beans on this side, have a bit of a succession planting of them. I'm not real sure yet, but this may sit empty for a minute. I may just turn all the potato plants over, let them kind of break down into the soil and that kind of thing. So we're gonna harvest all these today. All right. Wow, can you put it in the bowl? Look. Here you go. Can you put it in?
Look. I found a big, there was a big pink potato. Oh, it's a pink potato. Whoa.
Hang on, baby.
Wait, I just see a potato already.
This is a little bit like digging for gold. The excitement hasn't worn off yet.
Oh, I see a potato already.
Good job. That one's tiny.
Sure. Oh, what I found. Is it golden? Yeah.
Potato.
I found a potato. Why there's a potato already?
See one?
Yeah, right there. There's a potato. Wait,
Oops.
this one grow the potato. Look. found a potato. Oh, yeah.
Hey boy, somebody take it.
Let's find potato. Hey, so when we see a potato, say potato. Oh! Oh, you knocked down this plant.
Yeah, we're breaking the potatoes out from under the plants.
Yeah. Try what gets root on the top of it.
You want to dig for them?
I see a potato already.
You see one here? Put it in the bowl. Ooh.
What? It just climbed over the. Oh. Wow.
Wow. Potatoes.
Wait, look at that. I see a potato already.
Good job, man. Yeah, get it, Gaby, get it.
I see a potato already. Why did you plant?
I accidentally dug that little guy up. He's not
I
a
see a
potato.
potato.
Oh, good job, Mila. Here, put it in the bowl.
Woo, doing a potato.
Yeah, potato.
Let's snap down that plant.
Come here, plant.
Whoa, you pulled it.
Look,
Oh.
how many potatoes do you see?
3.
Whoa, potato.
Here, you put it in the bowl. Well, you know that potatoes just climb over the side of a bowl? Alright, Mommy.
All right, Mila.
Right on. Let's find a potato. Where's the potato?
Hey, potatoes, where are you?
Potatoes. What's that? Potatoes! We found potatoes. Woo! Potatoes. Woo!
Uh-oh, that one's yucky too. Leave it. That one's yucky. That's a nice plant. Leave it. Yeah.
Mommy, these are flowers. Is it where we can do where we find the potatoes? We find potatoes. Hey, the plants grow into a potato. Woo! You got a potato. Woo! Oh, I see potatoes already.
Yeah, this one's doing really good.
Mommy.
Oh, I'm so sad the camera didn't catch that. You like it, huh? Yay.
Hey, Mama.
What?
Mommy.
What?
Mommy, why do plants grow? Why do plants grow potatoes under the dirt?
Because this is a potato plant. That's what it's supposed to do.
I see potatoes.
I think I want to leave that one.
When I see a potato, let's take it. Let's see what's behind this one.
You know, I think I want to leave some of these.
I'm trying to find a potato at that plant. We can't find a potato.
All right, I'm a little grossed out by it, so I'm going to hold it with a shovel. But there's little bitty bugs all up in this tater. And I feel like these little bitty bugs in here are killing my potato plants. What is this? Can somebody tell me? Because I think it might, is that an aphid? Mostly this video is going to be handy for me to be able to look at this later, because it's only going to be a matter of time before I'm going to get too skeeved out and I'm going to have to chuck this thing. But there's also snails in here. I'm not sure if this is an issue. Okay, disclaimer. This is not my first year ever growing potatoes. This is definitely my first year doing them in a bed. I've done them in bags before, and this is maybe my second or third year, but I've never seen this.
Mommy, give some potatoes. Oh, why? Mommy.
I was considering not harvesting anymore, but I saw this plant. The whole thing is yellow. It's very brittle. It's very moist. It's yucky, slimy, gross. Okay. If they're yucky, slimy, gross like that, what I've seen is that those are the ones that are full of whatever stinking bug that was. So I think I might let the rest of this bed go a little ways, see what happens. But this is what I pulled today. That's definitely more than the seed potatoes that I put in. So lots of little baby ones. My reds didn't go too crazy, but they still gave me lots of little bitties. So I think I'm going to leave the rest of that bed, see if they start to look sickly too. Maybe they'll give me some baby potatoes before I harvest in a couple of weeks. Wow, what is it? Potatoes! Now let's go put them on the porch.
My house isn't to the end.
Come this way. Okay, now that I've done that, we can do a little bit of a tour. Got a little sidetracked. I get a little excited. Okay. So there's a trellis right here that has nothing on it. That don't make a whole lot of sense, does it? There's a plan for everything. So. There are little baby seedlings in here because I yanked out, I was talking earlier about how I yanked out all the brassicas, broccolis, things like that out of my bed down there. I also ripped out all of my lettuces here. I had like romaines, things like that, icebergs, you know, whatever, hanging out here. Of course, they were bolting mad. It's hot. So I yanked all those out and I was like, gee, what am I going to do with this empty space? So, you know that feeling you get in the beginning of spring where you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get in the dirt. I'm going to put all these things in the ground. This kind of gave me a taste of that again. So I've got all of this stuff going and it's so exciting and gratifying to see, but I was really sad to rip out my lettuce. But the thing here is that I ripped out my lettuce and made room for something else. What did I put there? So there is a pest pressure here where I live that's called a vine borer. I don't know that I've ever encountered it, but typically what it does is it bores into the vines of typically squash plants and it will kill your plant. You don't really know what happened, but all of a sudden, plant dead. And it's because that bug is doing their reproductive cycle in the vines of the plant, okay? Stay with me. So this vine borer plant, typically their reproductive cycle ends in about July, last week in June here, and that would make these baby plants not even have to worry about that bug because their reproductive cycle is going to be done before this guy even gets mature. So what I did, whenever I yanked out all of my lettuces, I put these seeds from seed in the ground, put these guys in, and they germinated. I'm not kidding, like 72 hours. 48 maybe. They popped up out of this dirt so stinking fast because it's hot. It's hot out here. They love it. And they're already a pretty big seedling already. So I've got 4. There's one on either side of the trellis here. And then I've also got one right there. My intention is to see if I can get them to grow up this trellis. Now, I don't know that they're typically a trellis-y plant. but neither is sweet potatoes, and they're all the way up there. You know, you can clip things and it'll go up. But my intention was to be able to grow a whole bunch of stuff in my 121 square feet of raised beds. And you do that with trellising. So that's what I've got here. So squash varieties. I've got some marigolds on the edges. Nasturtiums up front here. That's fun, right? But this plant right here, I'm pretty excited about. This plant right here, this one, I've got a little row of them so that they can go up the trellis when they're ready. I found them in my backyard last year. I'll see if I can't put a picture in a second right here. I found them last year. They were growing on my fence. And I was like, what the heck is this? Because the flower on these things is just breathtaking. It's got like, it's just crazy looking. So, of course, I found it and was like, what the heck is this? And then I found out that it is a fruit. They're called maypops. I never had the fruit because the plant keeled over while I was away on vacation last year, whatever. But when these popped up in my backyard, ooh, I yanked them up so fast because I knew I wanted to try and put them in my garden. Nasturtiums on one side of the trellis, maypops on the other side of the trellis. I think that's going to be really cool whenever they get to going. And then my strawberry patch is that end of the bed. And they're done. The strawberries were pretty darn fun this year because there's a little boy who would just, Gabe would just come walking around the house, strawberry in each hand. So I didn't really get to use them in anything. I'm hoping they'll give me more next year. I did transplant them this year from my old bed into the new bed. We'll see how they do. But yeah, little dude here was walking around eating all my strawberries. Okay, so that's all for that bed, this bed here. We've talked about most of it. I yanked out all my potatoes. I've got more of those Yukon Golds that I'm letting go just because I'm not sure that they're ready. So we'll see. We've got sweet potatoes. That's what all of this is sweet potatoes going way, way up. And then over here, I'm actually gonna bring you with me. So these are green beans. I messed up with these this year. I thought this was a bush variety. Clearly it is not. I had to buy a trellis. I love this trellis though. And these are actually really cool. So this is a first year thing for me. I've done bush variety green beans countless times. That's been actually one of my favorite things, was to be able to, that's one of my favorite things in the past, has been able to just make fresh green beans with dinner. So these are going to be a little different, but they're growing up this trellis so cool. Look at this. I just love this. So they're doing really good climbing up the trellis here. All I had to do was grab a little thing like this right here. Say, hey buddy, there's a trellis right here if you want to use it. Wrap it around a couple times. Maybe loop it under somebody else that's already there, and it just takes off. So green beans are doing good. I don't think I have any fruit yet on this, but we got to be getting close because these are as tall as me now. This is all the way up here. So they're getting there. Okay, while we're over here, I want to talk about my herb bed just a little bit. There's not a whole lot of excitement going on in the herb bed because herbs are just herbs, right? So I have a new trellis here, which I'm really excited about. It's big. But it's, apologize for my neighbor's dog. I got this trellis for free. It was at the end of somebody's driveway, and I was like, that's supposed to go home with me. So home with me it came. I'm gonna paint it. I've got to get something to grow up it, so it's just gonna be a naked trellis for a little while, but that's okay. I've been wanting to get some blue butterfly peas or something, or just regular peas, so I'll probably grow something up it. We'll probably wait till the weather gets a little bit cooler. I've got some flowers that I'm trying to get to come up, but they don't love me. Lemongrass is pretty cool because I chopped off the top of that about a week ago, and you can kind of see I grabbed it and chopped it about right here. I could tell that you saw that, but I was barely over there. What else is going on over here? Parsley's cool. Cilantro hates me. I'll try to get that. Cilantro doesn't like the heat so much. So it was bolting like crazy. I chopped it down like crazy, and then now it's just a pile of sticks. So cilantro, I will plant that again in the fall. See if I can get some harvest out of that. Basil is just, ooh. So what I do with these, and I'll do a really big video as I harvest more. But what I will do is, I've just been harvesting these, hanging them in my kitchen and letting them dry and then putting them in jars. But I'll do a big video of the things that I can do with those, make butters. I'll make herb butters, I'll freeze some, show you the uses I do for them, teas, things like that. I'll do a whole episode, video, whatever, about, you know, herbs. So we talked about the beds back there earlier. We've talked about our herb bed. There's not a whole lot of craziness going on here. And then we've talked about these two beds here. So that is a full garden tour. I'm going to walk back through here one time just so that you fully get the, idea of it. These archway trellises might be my favorite part. It's honestly kind of hard to determine what my favorite piece is at this point. I'm gonna go this way. It's thundering. So I'm gonna bring my potatoes inside and wash them because I think we're about done. So here's my herbs. I swear this dude grows every day, more and more. So it's almost all the way across. These cucumbers are taller than me as well. So this is the back of my garden. That's everything growing up the trellises. So, oof, y'all, I just love it, love it. I love it, love it.